too. They talked about
Mike's not here
study
today?
from
Okay.
2010.
Oh,
So it's been a
Let me
while.
I was on the city commission.
Yeah.
back-
have you guys talked to Mike
Yeah,
today?
right. It's like you always talk.
Have you talked to
Yeah,
him?
Right.
yeah.
Is that what, who's been requesting it? It kept coming up. Okay, I just shared it with you, Justin.
Oh, there he is.
Do you need it, Clinton? I was like, why is that popping up?
Michael?
Hello, Commissioner, how are you?
Let's hope your weapons up to the public.
You're all old.
Yeah. You're the youngest one here, Steve.
Yeah, sometimes I feel old.
Well, we bring that on.
Don't be sitting next door.
That's not
We're live.
Old people have old ways.
I'm gonna do water tonight.
That's good. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We will get started. If we could please stand for Father Marion Charbonneau. He will be giving the invocation. Father?
Lord God, send down your blessings upon these servants who so generously devote themselves to helping others. May they be mindful of the needs of fellow citizens, the need for the common good, and let them faithfully serve you in their neighbor. And we ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father.
Okay, all right. Okay, at this point, I will call the meeting to order. All right, we have a proclamation, National Child Abuse Awareness Month, and I will read the proclamation. Whereas in the fiscal year 2024, 70,940 reports were made to Child Protective Services in the state of Kansas. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone. And whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of the state of Kansas. And whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now, therefore, I, Mayor La Rochelle Young, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month in Atchison, Kansas, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. Dated this 7th day of April 2025. La Rochelle Young, Mayor. And at this time, if we have someone who is representing CASA who requested, we would love to hear from you for just a moment if you would like. We appreciate your time. You may say a few words if you'd like. If not, you don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Okay, I had not prepared anything, but I did do a radio interview here in Atchison this morning. So,
Okay, wonderful.
my name is Vicki Campbell. I am the Director of Volunteer Engagement at CASA, serving Leavenworth and Atchison County. The work we do is vital, and child abuse is everywhere, unfortunately, no matter what your social, economic status is. But we are here to serve the children, and we are here to be a voice for the children, mainly children who are in the foster care system, but also to be a voice in the courtroom for these children. So we provide comprehensive training for our volunteers, and we value our volunteers a lot for what they do. We are a 501c3, and we try to keep the lights on like everybody else.
All right, thank you so much. And I happen to have worked for Department for Children and Family for about 4.5 years, and I certainly got to see firsthand the importance of the work of CASA, the importance of Department for Children and Family, and the importance of really trying to ensure that we prevent child abuse, and that we act swiftly whenever there is established cause for child abuse. So we appreciate your work, and just ask that you continue to protect our children. We appreciate that.
As much as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
And thank you for your support.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did we want to get a picture with her? Sure. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Very good.
Come
You
up
can
in front?
Come up, yep. You can come, and you can stand right here, and all the commissioners can join.
Come up.
Right here?
Yes, in the way. Gentlemen?
Yeah, good new one. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
You have to tell her you want a signed copy.
Smile. Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
How's it been, Larry? How's it been?
Not too bad. Too bad.
Okay, at this time, Tina, could you please call the roll?
Mary Young,
Present.
Vice Mayor Wilcox.
Present.
Commissioner Greenlee,
Present.
Commissioner Murphy,
Present.
Commissioner Slattery.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tina. At this time, we will open up to public forum. Persons who wish to address the City Commission regarding items that are not on the agenda, again, items that are not on the agenda, may do so at this time when called upon by the mayor. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should give their name and address when addressing the commission. Any presentation is for informational purposes only, and any and all written communication should be deposited with the city clerk. All right, we will open for public forum now. Okay, yes, you may. And please state your name and your address for the record.
Hello, I'm Kathy Ebrick. My address is 621 North 3rd Street. I'm here to address the commission today about a problem that we have on 3rd Street. My vehicle has been struck on 2 separate occasions, hit and runs. My neighbor's cars have been struck multiple times. I don't just come talking about a problem, I come offering solutions.
Okay.
We recently put a stop sign on the cross street near the school. I have a very simple proposition. Let's make it a one-way. Let's make 3rd Street a one-way going from Unity down to Main. Make it a one-way all the way through. Our streets were designed, Atchison has been a city since before Kansas was a state. Our streets were designed for horses and buggies, not for the cars and SUVs that we have now traveling. We also have a large college student population, and they want to go fast, and I get it. If we were all, that street, there's no place for you to have off-street parking. It's just not a possibility. We might have to change the layout of the streets where 3rd Street is a one-way this way, 4th Street is a one-way that way. We've got to do something. People can't just keep losing their property repeatedly. I have grandchildren that play outside, and it is a constant of people swooping over very quickly to get out of the way to let another car pass, and it's continual. My grandchildren play outside, the neighbors up the street, their car has also been struck. Honestly, right there on our few blocks of Third, I don't know a neighbor that hasn't been struck at some point in time. And I just think the easiest solution is, it's not going to be more stop signs, people run those. But if it's a one-way, you're only going to have one direction of travel. You're not going to have people veering off to get out of the way of another car. And something needs to be done. When these people hit and run, there's nothing but pay the deductible and go on with your day. And I appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you want to say something as well? Yes, okay.
Hi, my name is Donna Schwartz, and I live at 620 North 3rd. My car was recently hit in March. That's the second time my car's been hit. We've had just a college student that her car was a hit and run just 3 weeks before mine. It is very dangerous on 3rd Street. These cars fly up no matter what. I go out at 4:30 to go to work. I'm actually scared because the way, and I was told they like 3rd Street because they go from the bottom to the top and don't have to stop until they get right at the new stop sign. So I will stand beside her, a one-way. We could even put a few stop signs in between to slow them down. That Massasoit Hill, if you guys know what I mean, it is dangerous. There is no room for northbound, southbound cars to get through. I mean, you literally, it is dangerous to go that. And my suggestion along with hers is, a one-way going from north to south. And I said all the way to Commercial because, we have one stop sign already on Mound. We could put one stop on 3rd and Kearney and the other one on 3rd and Santa Fe just for the crossroads alone. I mean, yeah, 3rd Street needs to be looked into. And we got more college kids moving into our neighborhood alone on 600 block. We have a big house going to open in June. There's more cars going to be, parked on both sides. It's not good to say, let's park on one side, because there's no way with all the college students in that block, we would have room to be parked on one side. So one way would be the best solution, I believe. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys listening.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we appreciate you, ladies. We will take all of your comments into consideration. So thank you for sharing that. And I certainly understand. I've had my car totaled with a hit and run in the past. Not here, somewhere else. So I definitely understand your frustration. All right, yes. Would be glad to have that. If you can give those to Tina Fitzpatrick, our clerk. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Car, and I got pictures of my car and previous people that lived on that same block.
Okay. Okay. All right. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you very much.
I for one will make sure that it's brought back up.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that because we have a lot of homeschooling children there, and they stay outside all day long.
Absolutely.
And there's a small incline. So if I'm going north to someone's house, you can't see until we're right on that incline. And it only takes one car to come up, hit a curb, and there's kids.
Yeah, I understand. I've driven 3rd Street many times from north to south, and I definitely understand what you're talking about. When cars are coming from the south, you're going from the north, there's not a lot of room, and I certainly understand that. And the Massasoit Hill as well. I certainly understand.
We do have a great, because there's not one of us nanas.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. All right, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, do we have anyone else? Seeing no one else, all right, we will close the public forum. All right, at this time, we will have our consent agenda presented to us by our city manager, Mark Westhoff.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. On the consent agenda tonight, we have to approve the minutes of the March 17th City Commission meeting, authorize the mayor to sign the CDBG Grant 21 CR 004 Blackstone Properties Contract Extension Request. I think, as I mentioned, this would be the last extension request for that project, unless something else changes in the future, but they're looking for 2 more months to try to wrap that up. Approve the occupational license for American Legion Post Number 6, and authorize the mayor to sign Resolution 3211, which was previously approved by the City Commission on June 1st, 2020. A little background on that. In going through our records to look for an older resolution, the city clerk and I uncovered that this one, we don't have a signed copy of it in the records. We have the meeting minutes showing that it was approved by the City Commission on June 1st, 2020, previous City Commission, and we have that it was a change to the personnel policy, so we see that the changes were made to the personnel policy. We just don't have a signed copy of the resolution. So consulted with the city attorney, and we're putting this on to have current mayor sign the previously approved resolution.
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right, does anyone have any questions regarding the consent agenda?
This number 2, the Blackstone one, what's
Yes.
going on there? They gonna finish that up, you think, or?
We're hopeful. I will say that there is a conflict between the property owner and the contractor, and they're trying to work it out, which is why we're giving them the extra 2 months to try to work it out. We've consulted with the grant administrator, and everybody's kind of in agreement that if it can't get worked out in 2 months, then there's steps that will be taken at that point, but we'd like them to try to, they're 95% done with the project, so they just want to try to wrap it up.
Okay,
I move we accept that
okay,
consent agenda.
okay. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the consent agenda as printed. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, next we have new business. First item on the agenda is resolution number 3411, the fire truck lease purchase, presented by City Manager Mr. Westhoff. Mr. Westhoff?
Thank you. At the March 3rd meeting, you all approved the purchase of our new fire truck, which we have now and has been working on its final upfitting and everything. And then this is for the financing to pay for that. We went out for bid on this. We followed our procurement policies. We received 6 bids, as you can see on the chart, with interest rates between 3.95 and 5.55. Some charge fees, some don't charge fees. None of the terms would have a penalty if we pay off early, which we intend to pay this off in 5 years rather than 10, which is how we typically do these leases. And staff ultimately recommends going with the low bid, which is our policy, but it can be changed if the City Commission would like to go with any other bids. The low bid is 3.95% First State Bank and Trust.
Okay. Mr. Westhoff, I noticed that we have Exchange Bank and Trust. They came in second, is that correct?
Yes.
And if we were to go with Exchange, do we know what the total price would be for that?
It comes out to around $700 per payment more.
Okay.
It'd be a little less than that. Actually, it'd be a little more than that because we're paying it off in 5 years instead of 10 years.
Okay.
And that's per, yeah, so per year.
Okay.
So the
You know,
total price is
$700
not
per year.
74,000?
That's per year. That's the per year payment is the number you see there.
74 for 5 years,
That's for 10 years. So for 4 years, it'll be around 140 per year.
Okay.
okay.
Because that includes the interest if we're paying in 5 years instead of 10 years, each payment would have slightly less interest than a 10-year payment. So I could come up with the actual amount, but under what we have budgeted at the 161.
Do the institutions here understand our intent to pay it off in 5 years instead of 10? Because I would think that would make a difference on their interest rate.
I don't know that I could take a look at the RFP that we sent out. I don't think that we said that we were going to pay it off in 5 years. But again, none of them include like an early payment penalty as on their loan terms.
Okay.
I move we accept that bid
Which bid?
with the First State Bank and Trust.
Okay.
Okay, there's been a motion to accept the First State Bank and Trust bid. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the First State Bank and Trust bid. Okay, is there any question or discussion?
This is the hometown boy in me, I suppose, but Exchange Bank and Trust is a relatively good neighbor, and the amount of money, the difference between the two, let alone the property taxes that the Exchange Bank pays in town, I think if you can go with your local folks who contribute to your community, First State Bank and Trust. Does anybody know anybody that works at First State Bank and Trust?
I know somebody that used to. Look, if we're gonna put this out for bids, and they come in at $700 a year, this isn't just one time. We might be with this for 10 years. There's no way we can take a local bank just because they're local for $700 a year more. That's just no way. I just think if you're gonna do that, you need to put it in the next time you put a bid out. We're not gonna accept your bids. We don't wanna run these people around like that. The Exchange Bank had a chance, and everybody else did too, to bid on that last thing, and we gave them the second bid. I just think I think it's wrong. It's a misuse of our funds to do something like that. I think we need to go with the low bid or tell them we're not going to go.
Okay, is there anyone else that has discussion at all?
I still think this Exchange Bank and Trust probably pays $70,000 a year in property taxes, and First State Bank and Trust pays zero. And are we going to support the people that are supporting us, or we're going to worry about making somebody upset? I think we should take care of our people who are running businesses in this community. That's why we have a problem with getting the business in town.
Not subsidizing some bank for $700 a year. That's not right.
They're subsidizing us.
No,
Okay.
they aren't. They ain't subsidizing me a bit.
Well, okay, I certainly understand that. I certainly am sympathetic to the local bid.
Yeah.
Me personally, Exchange Bank and Trust, I am. But at this point, do we have any other questions, concerns, comments?
Where's the Commerce Bank at? Was that in town here?
I
Or
don't
are we
believe
talking
so.
about another bank?
Union State Bank is in town.
Commerce Bank
I don't,
is lower than the First State.
How can that be?
I believe that's a typo. That should be
Yeah.
74,656.
Oh,
There's
okay.
something wrong there. That's not
The
right.
interest rate's 4.01 as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Commerce Bank is 74.
Yeah.
Well, last time we had this come up, I argued for State Exchange Bank just as
Yeah.
Bill is at this point, but, you know, if it's an ongoing thing, and if every one of them is $700 a month, then cumulatively, if you got 3 or 4 loans out there at an extra $700 a month, that becomes a substantial amount of money. And I'm also very much for the local businesses, but
I am too.
I think things are going to be tighter now than ever.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
A year, yeah, it is a year, 700 a year.
So $3,500 in total.
Yes,
Well,
well,
7,000.
that's over 10 years, so it'd be 7,000. total.
7,000 in total would be.
But we're going to pay it off over 5, so it'd actually be slightly less than
Well, you know-
7,000 because we don't pay the interest on the other 5 years.
I think there's a good chance that we might be looking at something more, the interest rate would go up. It's a possibility it'd go up and we could keep this loan going if we had the money to pay it, you know? That's another possibility. I think when you're looking at $7,000 difference in a bid, I don't see how you can even consider it. But anyhow, that's just,
Well, this is a, you pat my back, I pat your back, and,
patting your back for $7,000.
no,
That's language we might not want to get into.
No, we do not want to get into that.
I'm just
We
saying.
don't. We
The amount of
understand.
contributions freely given by Exchange Bank far exceed what we're going to pay extra to them at all. And if we don't take care of our local businesses, we won't have any.
Danger of losing that.
Well,
Okay. All right.
I didn't say we were
Okay,
dangerous.
very good. All right, if there are no further discussion, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion, which is to accept the Free State Bank and Trust bid, all those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Oops, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to push the gavel. All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
And aye. All right, the motion is 3-2. Motion carries. We will be going with First State Bank and Trust.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we will have, let's see, where am I? All right, our second one will be resolution number 3412, amending Chapter 12 of our personal policy and guidelines of the City of Atchison to include parental leave, presented by Mark Westhoff, City Manager.
Thank you again. So when I came on as city manager, I reviewed all of the benefits packages that the city provides, and I found that City of Atchison has a robust and competitive employment benefits package as it stands today. I did observe, though, that one, maybe you could call it a hole in the package, was the lack of any kind of paid parental leave, which has become pretty consistent now, pretty expected now in most industries. Currently, employees have to use sick vacation and unpaid FMLA leave time after the birth or adoption of a child. So I worked with staff as well as looked over the policies in other cities of our similar size, as well as with the state of Kansas. And we ultimately would like to propose offering an amendment to the personnel policy to include 6 weeks of paid parental leave for employees of the city of Atchison. This doesn't create any conflicts with our current policies or procedures. The city attorney has reviewed the language of the proposed policy, and the department supervisors and managers, the department managers have all taken a look at it, and we would recommend, if you do pass it, that all the supervisors review it as well. There are requirements for staff members who are expecting to take parental leave to work with their supervisors to come up with a good schedule for that leave so that no departments are left hurting, which they currently do anyway, right? If they're going to be out for 6 weeks, they currently already work with staff. Again, it's just transitioning this from unpaid to paid. On the budget side, it doesn't increase the city budget at all. I think I've kind of discussed before, paid parental leave reduces the amount of savings that the city makes when an employee takes unpaid leave, but their salary is budgeted already, and so this is taking away that savings, but not actually increasing the city budget, so.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Westhoff?
Do they have to take this all at one time, or could they like take 2 weeks and then a week and take?
They have 12 months to take the 6 weeks of leave. They can break it down into different sections as long as they work with their department supervisor and department head to make sure that works for them as well.
Is 6 weeks kind of what's normal now instead of like 3 or 4 weeks or something?
6 weeks is
I've seen.
pretty standard. The state of Kansas, I believe, is currently at 6 and has been talking about moving to 8. But 6 weeks is fairly standard. There are some places that do more than that and some that do less, but it's right around the middle, I would say.
Yeah, I had more when I had my daughter, but I think this is fair. Absolutely.
Well, I'm moving. We accept
Do you have
that.
any
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
concerns about departments that might have multiple pregnancies, adoptions in
Sure.
the same cycle, and that department is short-handed,
Well,
significantly short-handed?
certainly something that we can encounter. The reality is, because of FMLA, those employees could be out anyway, whether or not it's paid. So, if tomorrow we found out 2 employees in the same department were pregnant, or a spouse was pregnant and they were going to be having leave around the same time, and we didn't have paid parental leave, we'd be facing the same amount of time off for that employee anyway. It just wouldn't be paid to them. So I guess you could say maybe they're more likely to come back early if those 6 weeks aren't paid. I think that the reality is most people take some time off when they have a baby or adopt a child. And so I think we generally, have to plan for that time off anyway. Whereas this just provides them with a little bit of an economic boost at a tight time for their personal budgets when you have a child, so.
Does this only occur after the birth?
Correct.
Or after the legal adoption is completed?
Correct, yeah. Anything before that would be medical leave, and we have our current policies in place for that.
I move that we adopt this resolution 3412.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution number 3412, amending Chapter 12 of our Personnel Policy and Guidelines of the City of Atchison to include parental leave. Are there any other questions, concerns? All right, all those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right, communications, Mr. Westhoff.
Yes, okay, so in communications, we have the Atchison Housing Authority Board meeting minutes. You'll note we have board changeover, so that we'll put out for that opening now that we have that meeting minutes approved. Atchison Library Board minutes from February 25th, as well as a letter from the Kansas Department of Commerce regarding our LFM Park CDBG. We sent them a letter saying for the electrical work, we only received 1 bid, making sure it's okay to accept that bid. They said yes, so that's what that letter is. Any questions on those? Okay, and my city manager update. It's springtime, grass and the weeds are growing, so prime your mowers and your weed whackers. Mike. The county is having their annual cleanup day. It's actually 2 days, Friday, April 25th and Saturday, April 26th. So there's drop-off at the county dump that day. Details are on their website, the county website, and the flyer. We encourage city residents to take the opportunity to, do a little cleaning, sprucing up of the property. And we will also be announcing our own sort of spring cleaning initiative sometime later this month, and reminding residents about our current trash services, which they pay for, and that includes special pickups, bulky items, and yard waste. And we're looking at adding some additional special pickup days to help beautify Atchison this spring as we head into the summer. An update on the U Street Bridge, KDOT and their selected contractor, which is Kaz Construction, which is doing our sidewalk project right now. They've informed us that they are prepared to remove the U Street Bridge in the next couple weeks. They plan to completely shut down US 73 in both directions for one night, remove the bridge, and open up the highway in the morning. As of right now, their plan is to start by closing one lane in each direction on April 14th to do some work on the edges, and then close the highway on the night of April 16th. I believe it's right now 7 p.m., 7 a.m. is what they're looking at. Truck and highway traffic will be detoured by KDOT, but local traffic will be able to bypass the closure on city streets, 5th 5th and 6th on one side, and you can get around on the other side as well. Our police department and public works are working with KDOT on that plan to ensure we have the streets closed off appropriately, and we'll make a big public announcement probably tomorrow or the next day. They've moved the date a little bit, so we're making sure it's solid, and then we'll put out a big public announcement, but people should be preparing for that next week.
16th and 18th?
The 16th, the night of the 16th.
And it starts at 7 PM, did you say?
That's what they have currently targeted.
Okay, 7 PM, and then when will it be reopened? We don't know yet?
I think they were saying 7 a.m. again is their target.
Okay, so
Yeah.
12 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to come out and watch from a distance, I'm sure it's going to be a sight to see.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you might be able to see it.
Refreshments, yeah.
Question on that.
Yeah.
Coming from east to west on that, where the bridge currently is.
Mm-hmm.
They can put up a barrier there, how big a barrier?
Not sure what
Very
it's going to look
significant
like.
drop-off.
I just wanted to add on, before that, the deck is coming down on Wednesday night. There will be more work to do with the other parts of that structure in the coming weeks.
Okay.
Also grading and seeding and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
As
the
far
project
as-
won't be done,
Okay.
but that deck will come off that night.
As far as what would be left as dead ends on U Street, the east side, the street will not go all the way up to where the bridge starts now on the east end bridge.
I see.
So I don't foresee the need for barricades at that time. We'd talked about doing something more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Maybe even tree plantings or something like that.
Okay.
On the west side, I believe I think it involves a fence, but I'd have to check back and get back to you on
I didn't know if you had any of
trying-
those kind of concrete barriers. Can't drive through.
that. Right.
I'm sure they got a good plan.
Yeah.
We'll check on that to make sure. It's been so long. It's been over a year since we had those detailed conversations and taking this long to mobilize.
Do we have to do anything with our fence on our walkway going underneath it there, do you know?
They
Take
have,
care of all that?
go ahead.
Oh, so they will take that section down to avoid damage to it and put it back. And the sidewalk will be closed.
Mm-hmm.
Portion of work.
Is it going to be, it's not going to be imploded, it's going to be jackhammered, basically? Or do you know?
There's no implosion that I've heard about. I think it's going to have to be strategic, that type of bridge structure. It's like a hollow box, if that
Right.
makes sense. And so they're going to have to, their demo, it's like causes the contractor, and then they've got a company, like a subcontractor, I think, that handles that portion of it. I don't know exactly how to tell you that they're going to do it. My impression was that it was coming down in large pieces via a crane and that sort of.
What'd the bid end up being on that? I forgot.
It didn't.
It's a KDOT
It's KDOT's project.
We don't even
We
have to
didn't
worry
see
about
it.
it at all.
They made the determination to take down the bridge and let it themselves.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, Mr. Russo? Oh, please continue.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. One thing that might be a little relevant to the public forum comments we had tonight was we recently signed on to a grant through MOCAN, who's our Economic Development District, to complete a Safe Streets for All road safety action plan for the city of Atchison. We're getting it at a pretty impressive discount by jumping onto the grant that MOCAN received. They're doing it for the whole region, but we went ahead and signed on for the city, in part to we'll have some statistics to back up, these kind of conversations and say, is this a problematic area? The goal is to reduce injuries and accidents, and we'll have that action plan that we can either use to personally, as the city, make decisions on projects in the future. We can also use that to leverage to go after federal grants. Particularly next year, there's one large one that we might jump in on the region if it identifies anything that would be helpful for the city. So that will be moving forward in the next year or so. Having those surveys done, they'll be looking at data. They'll be out on site So
All right, fantastic.
we will have our auditors on site starting next Monday. They'll be here for 2 weeks. So we'll have, finance office will be very busy. The whole admin office will be busy with that. Patriot Street Bridge, also in that area where Vice Mayor lives. KDOT is replacing that bridge this summer as well, not tearing it down only, also replacing it. So our part of that project is to relocate the sewer line that's under the bridge, and that will be starting the next few days. KDOT has told us they're 6 weeks out from letting that project, so it'll probably take place later in the summer to actually replace the bridge itself. The airport, an update there, the gas pipeline relocation part of that project is nearly complete. So then once that's done, it will open up the path forward for the actual runway construction to move forward as well. You all just approved the lease for the fire truck. It should be in service this week, is what Chief was telling me. Kind of a fun thing, we installed logos for Benedictine College and Atchison High School on the new truck. We had it up at the Atchison High School baseball game. It's there right now. And then on Thursday, it'll be on campus at Benedictine College. And we've reached out to the other schools in town about putting logos on some of our other trucks, little town pride.
Fantastic.
And just from Chief as well, Fire Department is continuing to set a record pace for calls. We're up 21% from last year, which was itself a record. Personnel is working on EMT certifications right now. And we just encourage everyone, as always, look after your neighbors, especially folks who might need a little bit of help so they don't get in a situation where they have to call us in, where they get hurt or something, so.
Do you have any breakdown on what EMT fire percentages are of those calls?
Yeah, I do. I'd sent the manager a year-end report, which breaks.
Yeah, I can get that to you guys.
Yeah, he can share that with you. It gives a real detailed report of all.
I'm guessing the EMT calls are.
Yeah, they're higher, absolutely. Yeah. It's around 75% of the calls, and that includes, lift assists and anything that's basically related to that, and then fire calls fill in the rest of those. But yeah, it's a real detailed.
Yeah, absolutely, be happy to share it.
Okay. Would love to see that because
Great.
I
will send that.
as well. All right, good.
Anything?
Anything else? Any other questions, concerns?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Westhoff. All right, now, seeing as we do not have any informational items, we will be going to governing body comments. Commissioner Greenlee?
Just like to say, welcome back, or welcome to Commissioner Vice Mayor Wilcox and successful knee replacement. Seems to be doing well.
You want to race?
Sure. The other comment is that I've received a lot of feedback from folks in town about the ATVs, I guess UTVs, utility vehicles, and very pleased with being able to drive them around town. Just curious, Chief, have you had to ticket anybody?
No problem.
All right, good deal. That's good to hear.
They're certainly nice with their toys.
So far, so good.
Certainly seen a lot of them.
I have too.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor?
You mentioned you got a cleanup day coming. A little shout out to the Benedictine
Yes.
football. I think they probably had about 100 guys out last Saturday, getting a head start on a lot of things.
Yeah, they did a great
Nice.
job.
All right, excellent. Anything else? All right. Commissioner Murphy?
I really don't have anything too exciting, so.
Okay. All right. Very good. Commissioner Slattery?
Anything going on the River Road sidewalk?
Yes, we have, we're getting quotes on on the immediate repair to that, which will likely involve tearing out the sidewalk, putting in some new soil compacting, and just having a stretch of gravel there on the trail. That's at least the last that we had discussed it. And then we're also looking at doing a geological survey along the entire riverfront to kind of see what we're looking at in terms of long-term remediation
Looked at it, the road's cracking out into the road.
in that spot. Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Will the Corps of Engineers be involved in that?
They are aware. They have not been super responsive, but they have, last I heard, they kind of said, sure, we'll come when we want.
Did you let them know that's the exact spot where Lewis and Clark landed?
We'll let them know. Okay. And then next time when they ask, we'll say, actually, I think it was about 100 feet over that way.
Yes, that's right. Keep it rolling. All right, anything else?
No.
Okay, all right. Again, echoing Vice Mayor, thank you to the Benedictine football team. It's very important that we continue to have civic participation. I was just at the League of Kansas Municipalities board meeting, and that was one area that had a lot of conversation, was on civic engagement, and especially youth civic engagement. Whether it's allowing for high schoolers to think about perhaps accounting or another career path that cities need, because we need accountants, et cetera. So it's important also to really promote the need for responsibility, civic responsibility. So that is my comment today. And with that, if there is nothing further.
I move that we adjourn.
All right, it's been moved. Is there a second? All right, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please state by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
Thanks for the water today. I need